Hello guys, good morning. It's Dave Santarelli from Santarelli Trading Exchange and BreakingChartAlerts.com. I hope everyone's having a great start to their morning here. Welcome to the pre-market video. First off, as always, if you guys are new to the channel, go to the App Store. You guys could download our app for free. Search for it. It's called Breaking Chart Alerts. You'll get instant breaking news when we hear it from Bloomberg, Thomson Reuters, Benzinga Pro, all the places there. You guys will get it instantly right from the app, and also some trade ideas there. So go download that on the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and let's get started. So first off, if you guys could do us a big favor, go down, click that like button on this YouTube video. If you guys like these pre-market videos, click the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified there every time we go live or post some new content. So if you guys could click that like button, would greatly appreciate that. Let's get started here first. Top news of the day. Let's go over some of the market movers, some of the news, upgrades, downgrades, initiations here to start off the day. First off, let's go over, we always go over the Bloomberg top 5 things to start your day with here. Quite a bit going on. First off, Ukraine control. A Russian general said Moscow aims to extend control over the entire south of Ukraine. German Chancellor pledged to continue shipping weapons to Ukraine, yet insisted an open conflict with Russia that could lead to nuclear war must be avoided at all costs. And you guys remember we've been talking about that in the trade room quite a bit and on the live videos there. Putin has a declaration in his documents there stating that, they are able to use nuclear weapons there if there's any type of conflict with Russia. So that's worrying, some of the European countries a little bit there. Poland has asked the European Commission to use money from seized Russian reserves and assets to help finance aid for Ukraine refugees. New satellite images show apparent mass graves near Mariupol. European Union countries froze 35 billion euros of assets in response to Russia's invasion during the first 5.5 weeks of the war. Rebuilding Ukraine will cost $600 billion, the nation's prime minister said. The U.S. blasted China's support for Russia and vowed to help India end its dependence on Russian weapons. An aggressive Fed. This is something that came out of the Bloomberg terminal this morning. They're expected to raise rates even higher than expected from that last meeting there. So shorter dated Treasury yields surged after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell reiterated overnight a bias for aggressive rate hikes. Investors are now betting on half-point increases in May, June, and possibly July. Powell outlined his most aggressive approach to taming inflation to date, potentially endorsing 2 or more half percentage point interest rate increases. Over in Europe, money markets are pricing a quarter-point hike in both July and September, enough to take the ECB's deposit rate to 0. Europe's corporate bond market is going through its worst sell-off in history. China sell-off. It's been a painful week for traders of China's stocks, bonds, and currency. Sentiment toward the country's assets has soured as COVID lockdowns, slow economic growth, and policy stimulus fails short of investors' expectations. Domestic equities have lost about $2.7 trillion of market value this year, prompting the authorities to step up efforts to halt the decline. The offshore yuan posted its biggest weekly loss since the surprise devaluation in 2015. China is heading for the largest oil demand shock since the early days of the pandemic. Crude headed for its third weekly loss in 4. Yields rise. U.S. futures stem the day's biggest losses, with S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 contracts about 0.2% lower as of 5:30 this morning. New York time European stocks slid, with declines heaviest among energy and travel firms. In fixed income, the U.S. Treasury yield curve bear flattened, and U.S. 10-year yields rose 5 BPS to 2.9433%. Coming up there, this week's data rounds off with a 9:40 a.m. New York time release of April's preliminary manufacturing and services PMIs and the Baker Hughes rig count at 1 p.m. We will also get Canada's February retail sales print at 8:30 a.m. Today's scheduled central bank speakers include ECB President Christine Lagarde at 9 a.m. and BOE Governor Andrew Bailey at 10:30 a.m. Slumber, American Express, and Verizon Communications are among the larger companies scheduled to report earnings. A lot of them have, and we're going to be going over that right now. So let's take a look here. Here's some of the things that caught my attention here first this morning. And as you guys see down below on the scroller there, we're going to go over that. But first off, American Express rose 1.2% in pre-market after reporting better than expected profit and revenue for the first quarter. Amex reported a profit of $2.73 per share compared to the $2.44 consensus estimate, helped by increased spending by millennial and Gen X consumers as well as small and medium-sized businesses. And if you guys go down and actually read that report there a little bit more, they were actually talking about how inflation, a lot of people, they got record new card signups here because inflation, expenses are becoming so expensive. More people are signing up for cards to pay for that. So that's a big indicator there of what's to come. More debt here for the average American consumer, and they're going to be decreasing their spending there as expenses are getting higher. Next off there, Verizon earned an adjusted $1.35 per share for the first quarter, matching estimates with revenue also essentially in line. Verizon lost 36,000 phone subscribers during the quarter, less than the 49,300 losses expected by analysts who were surveyed by FactSet. Verizon fell 1.4% in pre-market trading. KMB, John, that's the one you wanted to go over there. Kimberly Clark. The consumer products company shares jumped 3.8% in the pre-market after reporting better than expected quarterly earnings and revenue. Kimberly Clark said it was able to deal with a volatile and inflationary environment and raised its full-year organic sales forecast. Here's a top one here that's always on Wall Street bets and whatnot here. Cleveland Cliffs, the steel producer and mining company stock, rallied 3.5% in pre-market trading after beating top and bottom line estimates for the first quarter. Cleveland Cliffs also raised its average selling price forecast for the full year. Slumber, the oil field service producer, beat estimates by a penny with an adjusted quarterly profit of 34 cents per share, and revenue also topped Wall Street forecast. Slumber also raised its dividend by 40%, and stock added 1.1% in pre-market action. Snapchat lost an adjusted 2 cents per share for its latest quarter, compared with a consensus forecast of 1 cent per share profit for the social media company. It also issued a conservative sales growth outlook for the current quarter, and shares fell 1.1% in pre-market trading, but they have since come back and started to climb there. They're back down about 17 cents, 0.58% here in the pre-market. All right, let's get on to the next section here, and let's go over the top market movers here for the day. Alrighty, guys, so pre-market screener here. Obviously, we just went over there. Kimberly Clark, Cleveland Cliffs are the biggest leaders here this morning, followed by SVB Financial Group, which is up 8.25%. You got Cleveland Cliffs there up about 7.17%, and Kimberly Clark there up about a little over 5% here in the pre-market. The laggards there, Gap had a miss there. GPS, those shares are down over 15%, followed by NVAX there, Novavax, obviously with cases there, not as bad as they were expecting, and a lot of people now are pushing back on getting booster shots and the vaccine. Things are starting to dwindle down there with the vaccine there, so shares of Novavax are pulling back about 4.51% here in the pre-market hours. Alrighty, let's go over the top upgrades, downgrades, and initiations, stuff to put on your watch list here this morning. Let's get started with that. We'll go over the upgrades here. So the biggest upgrade this morning, which was nice to see, was American Airlines. That was upgraded by JP Morgan there. They upgraded it from an underweight to a neutral, and they increased the price target to $26 a share there, which represents about a 28.59% upside from where the shares are currently trading at. And right now, shares of American Airlines in the pre-market are up 1.14% at $20.45 per share right now. United Airlines, another one that got upgraded by JP Morgan there, upgraded from an underweight to an overweight, and JP Morgan set a price target on that of $76 a share. United Airlines currently trading at $50.85 a share. That represents about a 49.46% upside from where the stock's currently trading at there. Other things there didn't interest me too much there. If we go on now to the top downgrades for the day, you guys could see here a couple of them. Alcoa here was downgraded by Citigroup from a buy to a neutral rating. Those shares are at $72.19 a share right now. And JetBlue Airways, Deutsche Bank downgraded that from a buy to a hold. Has a price target of $16 per share, which is still higher than where the stock's currently trading at, $13.53 a share, representing about an 18.26% upside from where it's currently trading at. You guys can see down there a little bit further, Carvana yesterday later on in the day there, that was downgraded there from Evercore, downgraded from an outperform to an inline, and they dropped the price target from $155 a share down to $110 a share. That stock right now is at $82.66 a share, and even with that downgrade there, it still represents about a 33% upside from where it's currently trading at. Let's go over the top initiations now here for the day. As you guys can see, the top ones that caught my eye here were Electronic Arts, EA Sports there. You guys can see Bernstein initiates an outperform rating on that, puts a price target of $157 a share. With the stock currently at $123.74 a share, that represents about a 26.88% upside from where it's trading at. Take-Two Interactive upgraded or initiates by Bernstein an outperform rating there. Stock's currently at $131.53 a share, and that represents about a 31.53% upside from where the stock's currently trading at. Let's go take a look at what to watch here for the day. All right, so first off, as you guys know, American Airlines, they reported yesterday a nice beat there. American Airlines had a big climb yesterday, pulled back with the general market, still ended the day well in the green there, and shares up over 1% again here this morning. Snapchat there, they had that miss, and then this morning we had the Cleveland Cliffs, Verizon, Slumber, and American Express. Now that's what's important about that American Express conference call and letter that we've seen there, that with higher inflation and increased prices, consumers are going towards more credit cards. They have record signups of new cards. So, you have to keep that in mind. Consumers are going to be cutting spending. So, I'm not too bullish on the market going forward here. There's certain sectors, obviously, that I like. But as far as that goes there, you got to keep an eye on what these companies are saying as they're reporting their Q1 earnings. Okay, next one here. Let's take a look at Wall Street Bets ticker sentiment. As you guys can see, Tesla, Netflix, Facebook, Snapchat, Disney, and AMD. Netflix here. Let's take a look and see what Netflix shares are currently trading at there. So, first off, let's go over Netflix. You guys can see Netflix shares are down about 12 cents, not too much there. Starting to bottom out. We'll see if it bottoms out right around that 200 to 215 range there and starts to form a hook pattern. That's what I'm waiting for and watching with Netflix shares here. I'm seeing if we're going to start to get that hook pattern, which, let me bring this down a little bit here. Waiting to see if we're going to have that hook pattern on Netflix here where we went from pre-earnings there of around 350. We had that drop there. So this right here on that hook pattern, this is known as the shaft of the hook. We got the top. And then if this base is out here, we'll have the base. And then all we're going to be waiting for is that hook. And what's the hook? The hook is going to be when we break out of the consolidation box here. So if we break out, let's say this is the consolidation box. If we get that green candle and start to climb, out of this green or out of that yellow consolidation box, this is where we'll look for that hook pattern and look for that continued climb there to start off that hook there like that. So that's where we're looking at for entry with a hook pattern if we see Netflix start to bottom out here. So that's one you definitely want to keep on your watch list and look for that hook pattern set up if it happens there. And let's see. Let me get back to what we were going over here. So that was Netflix there. Tesla shares getting a little climb there. Facebook shares pulled back yesterday. Let's go over here. I wanted to go over SPY, Diamond, and Qs with you guys before we get started for the day. So obviously here is a 6-month daily chart of SPY. You guys could see yesterday we were climbing nicely. We got right up to that resistance at 450 that we've been talking about, and we pulled back. The Fed is talking about raising rates even higher. That's going to definitely hurt consumers and whatnot here, especially corporate earnings here going forward. So, you got to keep that in mind. SPY pulling back here about 0.29% here in the pre-market hours. Failed at that blue 20-day simple moving average, continuing to pull back here. If she pulls back below about 435 here, you're going to be looking for that next pullback down to about 420. So, not too much there with SPY. We had that climb yesterday, and then that news of that rate hike, that extra rate hike, really pulled back the markets there. So that's SPY on a daily chart there. So I would not be going long, just yet. There's certain sectors obviously that we like the airlines, the cruise lines, and we'll be continuing to look at those. But as far as SPY, and let's take a look at Qs. Here's Qs, did the same thing, had a nice breakout yesterday, and then continue to pull back throughout the rest of the day there. And we're seeing Qs down about 0.19% here in the pre-market, and you guys can see how it got right up to that red 50-day simple moving average on a daily chart and starting to pull back. You got that next support right around that 320 a share. So if we start to pull back, especially with today being Day Trade Friday here, we could look at some of those SPY contracts, pick up some SPY puts, and look for some easy scalps or day trades with SPY there. Now, if we're looking at the Diamond ETF here, let me see. I don't know why E-Trade is showing that Dow Diamond ETF is up 1.79%. It's down about 105 points right now. There we go. It just updated there on E-Trade. So obviously you guys could see that right there. We're seeing the diamond. It got right up to that 355, which is about Dow 35,530. We got up there, failed, pulled back yesterday, and now we're pulling back below that blue 20-day simple moving average on a daily chart here. So, really important to keep an eye on diamond, Qs, and SPY. If the general market's pulling back, you don't want to be going long anything just yet. Wait for it to settle down and find some support. And, diamond ETF, we got that next major support right around that 325 here. So we'll be continuing to watch that as we go into next week. Next week is a big earnings week, so I expect the markets to remain volatile here and see some choppiness, which is obviously that volatility is going to be great for day trading. As far as swing trades go, certain sectors we could be looking at, and we obviously have to give that a little bit extra time on our side there for that. Let me get this back over there. Alrighty, guys, so that's going to do it here for the pre-market video. I gave you guys the watch list there of what to be looking at on the scroller down below there, which is American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines. You guys could see also Tesla on there, Carnival Cruise Line. We also got a few others moving. DWAC is up about 4.5%. Baidu shares up 1.66%. Alibaba shares up about 1.17% there. And we got Hertz still continuing to climb up about 0.79%. Lockheed Martin shares up in the green. And we got Smile Direct in the green down there as well. Twitter shares getting a little bit of a climb there after Elon Musk said he's got some buyers for Twitter. Those shares are up about 0.83%, 39 cents on the morning there. So we'll keep an eye on these and see if there's any type of breaking news we could take advantage of this morning. And we'll definitely be looking at SPY there for Day Trade Friday. So hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe. God bless. And I'll see you guys in the trade room. If you guys want to come join us, go to breakingchartalerts.com and use the promo code down below for an additional savings there and come join us. Have a great day, everyone. AJ, good morning. Quantum, big earnings next week. Yes, I am ready for it. I'll be posting that in the trade room too. Alrighty, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you shortly.